Over 10 years ago, a group of talented and dedicated DKC superfans got sick of waiting for a new game and took matters into their own hands. That game is not out yet. In fact, last I checked, there's no clear answer as to whether or not it'll ever see the light of day. And while I don't particularly endorse this game as the sequel to the Super Nintendo DKC trilogy, unlike how I might for Oddity being the spiritual successor to Mother 3, it would be a shame for all their hard work to die on the vine. I'm not sure if that metaphor works there, but Vine, Donkey Kong, feels right, no? Anyway, this is part 1 of a very special Overthinking series, because it's a game that doesn't really exist, it's one I have not played, and as I'm taking levels from various stages of the development history, and not the order they'll appear in the final game, if they appear in the final game, the whole thing's a bit of a train wreck. But hopefully we have a bit of fun along the way. Strap in, strap on, lube up, and expectations down. This is part 1 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 4, The Kong's Return. This episode is even more unique as we're not looking at a finished level, so much as a proof of concept. I think much of it ends up being recycled into a named level, but A, I can't be fucked looking that up, and B, we'll end up talking about that level eventually, so whatever. This is the sample stage from 2014, the first video on the official DKC4 team's YouTube channel. Right away, the level starts with Dixie Kong on a sort of jade green palette swap of the boardwalk, or Stilt Village, tile set of DKC3. The background looks to be the one from DKC2's Bayou, though it seems zoomed in a bit, and there are leaves falling in the foreground. The leaves are new, as far as I can tell, as is the relatively simple music track. But as you can see by the appearance of Neek and Winky, DKC4, at this stage, is largely a mashup of assets from the original 3 games. And that brings me to why I do not endorse this as a true DKC sequel. It's more of a love letter to DKC than a continuation. If Rare Bear made a DKC4 for Super Nintendo or Game Boy Advance, they might not have introduced a new Kong, but they would have done all new assets for the level tile sets and all new enemies. It is what it is. And it's by no means bad, just not what I would want. I really love the green boardwalk, and putting it in a swamp environment, complete with this musical nod to Bayou Boogie, is just a gorgeous picture. Seeing Dixie and DK together for the first time is real nice too. The level doesn't let you have much fun with Winky, unfortunately. That's a great sentence out of context. Props for the no Winky sign being a unique asset, but seems kind of dumb to introduce him then have him disappear literally seconds later. As we'll see throughout the series, the creators have a real inability to withhold from putting animal buddies in their levels. Anyway, Dixie's switched out for Kitty, and again, cool to see DK and Kitty together. The 2 heavy hitters of the trilogy could cause some real mischief together, and their dynamic would be great to watch. You just know DK would love Kitty. We meet Cobble, Zinger, and a whole slew of borrowed assets. This level is clearly unfinished, but if I'm being completely honest, aside from wasting Winky's appearance at the start, the actual level design isn't bad. It's very much centered around climbing mechanics, and looks to have an element of difficulty to it. The second half of the level introduces Rattly, Sneak, Recoil, Slipper, the DK coin, life balloons, blast barrels, barrel cannons, squawks, squidder, and the end of level target. And there's a silver banana coin that looks like a cross between DKC2's banana coin and DKC3's bear coin. Probably serves a similar purpose too. Again, Rattly is wasted right after he's introduced. I'm chalking this up to the level being more of a tech demo than anything else. It looks like the no animal signs change depending on which animal is in use. I don't know how I feel about that. And again, as we'll see throughout the series, there's a chance that, at some point during development, they may have planned for multiple animal buddies to be playable in the same section. Some custom DK climbing and team-up animations on display, which is one of the most impressive things in the video. Diddy gets some love, as does Squawks. I love the way DK's tie flaps about as Squawks carries him around. The map opens up a bit here, probably to give Squawks space to do his thing. You see the edge of the map right before Squawks' departure, which is kind of funny. Finally, at the arse end of the level, we get to see Squidder make an appearance. Episode 1 of Overthinking Donkey Kong Country 4 is over. It's important to remember that this isn't a ROM hack, but a rebuild from the ground up. So all the physics, moves, mechanics, everything, it had to be replicated by hand, so to speak. That's what makes this admittedly pretty rough tech demo still so fucking impressive. The skills are there, the bones are there. All they've got to do is grind through the work and bring it home.